Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 16th to the 30th, 2021 money and career reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into the safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Gemini, September 16th to the 30th, 2021 Gemini, money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Lovers, which is us. We are represented by the Lovers in the major arcana, by the Swords in the minor arcana. And then we have the Devil, which is, oh, that's such an interesting combination, which is Capricorn energy. Now, if we have Capricorn within our natal chart, that's going to be coming through very powerfully at our root. But we have to be very mindful of the fact that Gemini, when we look at the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, we have the two people standing before the angel. When we look at the Rider-Waite-Smith deck and we have the Devil, it is the two people chained to the Devil. So there's going to be the sense of the inverse of us, the opposite of us coming forward. And we have to be mindful of that when it comes to our career, when it comes to what we desire, our finances. We cannot lose track of us just to please somebody else. And that's actually one of the life lessons of Gemini. It's like we want everybody to love us, which is, great, but not everybody is. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It moves us then to our inner selves. We have the goddess of fire, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If you have fire sign energy within your natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully within your inner self. And then we have the Witch of Air, which is representing us in the minor arcana. Also represents Aquarius energy and Libra energy. So if we have that within our natal chart, it is also coming through very powerfully within our inner self. We have the Eight of Pentacles, hard work and dedication. We have the High Priestess, seeing what others cannot. And that's going to be a gift, but it can also be really annoying. The Four of Cups, a blessing that's coming that doesn't necessarily feel like a blessing. And then we have the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. If we're born on the cusp with Cancer, or we have Cancer energy within our natal chart, that's coming out very powerfully within our public arena self, within our public self. Okay, let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is the King of Wands. We have to be mindful of getting all consumed by our passion, what we desire, the way that we want to move forward within our careers, but also the passion and the kind of fire that we have. It can become all consuming, and our air sign energy just kind of feeds that fire. So we can really see ourselves putting everything that we have into our careers, into our hobbies, into the things that really make us feel successful. And again, it doesn't have to be that it's simply our career. It can be something on the side that we absolutely love, and we can lose all track of time, all track of everything. And we have to be mindful about that, because we need to balance ourselves and not have all our self-image right now be totally consumed by our work, because it's going to be, if things aren't perceived or received the way that we want them to be, we can feel like failures, instead of thinking, oh, well, maybe I just have to look at that differently, or maybe I have to start talking to different people, that sort of thing. We're also going to be very, very drawn to people who are all consumed by their work. And we're going to think, if I'm not all consumed by it, I'm not doing it correctly. And that's not right. We need to have a work-home life balance. And that's actually really important. It moves us then to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. This is the Earth Star chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. This is rebirth. And so here we are being reborn. We are embracing our flight. We are embracing our passion. We are embracing our desire, our way forward. We're looking at more, and we're looking at ourselves in a very open, honest way. And we're saying, how can I get to where I want to be? How can I embrace what I deeply desire within my life? How can I let myself soar? How can I let myself become? And this is going to be a transformation. It's like entering into a new season. It's like all of a sudden it comes. It's like all of a sudden, you start to see the leaves on the trees change. You start to see yourself changing, and you start to see yourself taking flight. Now again, at our root is the Lovers. Now this is a very interesting Lovers card, because you have the beautiful woman, the man, the beautiful man, and then you have at the bottom that she is not what she seems. You have the skeletal feet, you have the skull, and so you kind of have a sirens calling a person to their doom. And it's very much telling us, Gemini, do not just look at the surface of things. Do not think that because everything looks to be wonderful, for somebody else, or that person looks to be a really great person, that they actually are going to be. Love here is so much more complex and so much deeper than it is maybe for other people. Others can skim the surface. And the thing with Geminis is people think, oh, Geminis just skim the surface. They go from one thing to one thing, kind of like a bee or a butterfly collecting pollen, taking just little sips of things. But that's not true. We see what we like, and we know pretty early on what we do not like. And so we have to be open and honest with our words, with our connections, with what we love, with surrounding ourselves with what we love, and not letting it get to that kind of murky, siren-y point where it feels like, okay, I can dive in deep, I can go all in. The only thing I have to give up is me. Because Gemini, we can do it, and a lot of us do it, but it takes away so much from us. It takes away such beauty from us that we have to be mindful of what we're giving our love and our time and our patience to, what we're giving our energy to. And that moves us then to the Devil, because this is connecting with what we love. This is falling in love with life again. And the Devil says, be mindful of your addictions. Be mindful of staring down the dragons, staring down, the demons, the scary things that overwhelm. And how will we face this? How will we react to it? Will we stand our ground, or will we crumble? And also looking at our coping mechanisms. What coping mechanisms do we have that aren't really that healthy, that aren't really that beneficial to us? Being open, being honest with ourselves, looking at the way that we need to move forward, looking at the way that we want to move forward, looking with power and prosperity and insight and ideas to who we are. And again, looking at our addictions. Now, they can be the common addictions of drugs and alcohol, but they can be the uncommon addictions of, I will sacrifice everything if you see me, if you love me, if you understand me. I will, swallow my words. I will, be what somebody else needs me to be. Some people say that Geminis are kind of chameleon-like. It isn't. It isn't that fact. It's that one of the life lessons that we have is not to have people love us. Not to have people, think that we're really good people. But to step back and to love ourselves. To have that beauty come from within. And that's always going to be a test. That's a test for anyone. It's just a little bit of an extra test for a Gemini. And so when we look at the devil, this is also telling us that we're very connected to the earthly plane. And we can actually find that to be a little bit uncomfortable. We like to ride like the wind. We like to ride above the earthly plane, never really being held down in one place or another. This is going to be a time where we start to look at things very practically, very, succinctly, very intensely. And we need to step back and say, how can I incorporate my heart, the essence of my expression, my creativity, to this earthly realm, to what I desire, to what I need, to the way that I'm facing down darkness and hurts and pains and disappointments. And it brings us then to our passion. It brings us to brewing something really quite amazing, really quite intense. And so with us, we bring our passion forward. And remember, we're being warned not to be consumed by our passion, but with the goddess of fire, it's like, how do I let my passion be a part of me? How do I call forward wealth, success, prosperity, bounty, abundance, and let myself move forward within it and move forward being able to be sustained by what gets me up in the morning, what drives my passion, what drives me forward. And again, our 9-to-5 job or our job might be there to pay the bills. Our passion, our brilliance, our prosperity of being in self, well, that could be something different. And it's saying to ourselves, that's okay. Not everybody has their dream job, and nobody has their dream job 100% of the time. That's just absolutely not something that happens. And so here we embrace our fire, our intention, our determination, our focus, and we start to meld things together. We start to brew something extraordinary. And that brings us to a place where we become aligned with our voice, where we become aligned with the power of the wind and the way our wings can unfold. Because there's a thing, Gemini, where we can feel like we're flying. Now, it can be a certain type of meditation, which name is eluding me now. If you remember it, put it down in the description box, not the description box, in the comment box, please. But there's a sense here of, if we focus on our breath and our expression, if we focus on the curiosity of our soul, we can almost feel as if we transcend barriers. We can feel as if we're rising out of darkness and hurts and pains and disappointments. And it brings us to this place where we become very much at one with our voice, with our expression, with the way that we need to express ourselves, with the power of our curiosity and our insights and our ideas. And it brings us to the 8 of Pentacles. It brings us to a place of prosperity, bounty, and abundance. At our heart is all our hard work. Now, this is also going to be a time where we can feel really sensitive if people do not acknowledge how hard we've worked on something. And what we're going to have to do here is step back and say, okay, I acknowledge me. And if I need people to say, wow, you did a really great job, I have to take that off the table. Because if I say, okay, I've worked really hard at this, I've really given my all to this, what do you think? And they criticize, that's going to be devastating. Yeah, it can be devastating for some of us. For some of us, it's just going to be a bit annoying. But being mindful here of our emotions, to how much work and effort we've put into something, and the fact that people might not recognize it, and the fact that people might think, oh, well, this just comes easy to you. And you're going to look at them and be like, do you know how much work I put into this? Do you know how much time and effort and agonizing went into this? And this is also going to be a time where we really start to pick out our prosperity, to pick out what we're good at, to look at ourselves in a different way. It's kind of like, wow, I have this fantastic earning potential. I have this fantastic way to open up doors and way to move me forward, and really kind of connecting the dots, connecting what we desire and what we want, and looking at things in a different light, not underselling ourselves at all, is going to be very important. And then it moves us to the High Priestess. It moves us to a place where the veil is lifted from our eyes, where we see things more openly and more honestly and more clearly for ourselves. Emotionally, this can be a bit much because we see people for who they truly are, not necessarily how they want to be perceived. And so this can burst some bubbles, and this can make us feel like, wow, nobody's perfect, or wow, that person who I thought had it all together doesn't. How will I ever? And the High Priestess says, stop comparing yourself to others. Look at your own journey. Look at your own passion. Look at your own desire. Open up the door. Open up the door and let you walk through. This is going to be a time where we have a sixth sense about things, where we have a way of weaving things together that others do not. Let that beauty shine through. Let that kind of magic, that insight guide us during this time. It moves us to the Four of Cups. God, Source, Spirit, however you see it, divine, the universe, is handing us a gift that doesn't feel like a gift. And we're going to be looking at it and thinking, what the heck is this? This is like more work. This is, another thing that I have to handle. We're going to need to step back, and we're going to need to say, I accept. I accept what I need to carry. I look at the fact that I can be overwhelmed, and I might need to excuse myself from things. I might need to step back and let myself breathe. We need to be kinder to ourselves. But what we're going to see here is that gifts come in the most unlikely packaging, from the most unlikely places. And we need to get out of our own headspace and really embrace our hearts to be able to accept them. This isn't saying to let yourself be overworked or abused or anything like that. What it is saying is that not everything is going to be as it seems at this time. And it leads us to the Chariot. It leads us to needing to embrace our hearts once again, to be able to make a killing of it, to be able to really go after what we want, to succeed, to embrace success, to just plow forward in a way that it makes us stand out. It has us really embracing what we desire and what we want and who we are and where we need to be. And so the Chariot says, don't slow down, but make sure that you're embracing the subconscious and conscious part of yourself. If you find that you're not in alignment, that's when you need to slow down. That's when you need to step back. Because when Spirit said don't slow down, and I repeated it, Spirit was like, well, wait, they do need to slow down sometimes. So we're going to find it a little bit difficult. We're going to think, okay, I just have to keep on charging forward. And then it's going to be like, no, I need to slow down. I need to connect. I need to rest. I need to, embrace what I love and what I need for my life and how I need to move forward and really take time to understand me. But there's going to be this power in the heart. There's going to be this power in emotionally aligning ourselves, but also being kind to ourselves, not getting involved in the politics and the pettiness of others, rising above a lot of doubts and fears that we have had and saying, no, there's power here. There's brilliance here. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And this is the King of Pentacles. Now, if we're born on the cusp of Taurus, or we have strong earth sign energy within our chart, we need to be mindful of becoming only financially motivated during this time. If it doesn't make enough money, it's not worth my time. We kind of need to step back from that and say, okay, I also need to make time for my home life and for, things that can't be quantified as easily as a paycheck. Then when we do this, we need to also remember to say that the money that we earn, and also the not money that we earn, but the time and the effort that we put into things as parents, as caregivers, as partners, as creators, that's worth something. And I don't get to undersell myself, because we're going to have a tendency during this time to put so much pressure on our shoulders that even doing a thing for 10 minutes seems impossible, because those 10 minutes have to be 10 minutes of perfection. And that's just not the case. With the King of Pentacles, we're also going to see ourselves very drawn to people who are successful, who are powerful, and who have a very, strict way of quantifying everything. And so here we might think, oh, well, they're right. Obviously they're right. Look at how successful they are. Look where they are. Look where I am, type of deal. But Spirit is saying here, don't compare yourself to others. Hold the wealth that you have to your heart. Know the time and the effort that you've put into things. Know that, what's easy for one person may not be easy for another person, and give yourself credit for what you have accomplished. It leads us to our chakra energy, our subconscious chakra energy, and this is angels and masters. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This is aligning with our chakra energy. This is knowing that our angels wrap their wings around us, and that divinity says, I am here for you. I see you, and I am guiding you forward. You are not alone during this time, Gemini. No matter how you feel, you are being guided and you are being protected. Be mindful, don't do silly things, foolish things, but know that there is passionate power here. It moves us to our subconscious rooted energy, and that is the mage, the magician. As above, so below. As you believe it, so it becomes. The mind is incredibly important. And a lot of times we don't give it as much credit as we should. And so here we embrace our prosperity and our success as we stand before the altar of our being, as we call forward our elemental power, and we know that there's so much more to us than meets the eye, and that there's so much more guiding us than we ever knew. At our root is our mind. At our root is our emotion. And we're having the two come together. The sense of the heart and the mind melding, to be able to be in tune with ourselves, to be able to be in tune with what we want and desire and are passionate for from our lives and for our lives. Our subconscious inner self. The wisdom keeper, which is the tower in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. We hold the wisdom because we've seen things crumble. We've seen things fall apart. Wisdom, compassion. This gravitas of spirit is never accomplished through the easy road. It's accomplished through the depth of humanity. It's accomplished through the power of the heart and the intensity of the self. And that comes through suffering, because there might be other words for it, but suffering sums it up really nicely. You cannot be compassionate if you've never had to know compassion. You cannot be wise if you have not fallen and failed. And so here, when we have the keepers of the wisdom, we have ourselves embracing the fact that so much comes through failure, through trial, through error. So much wisdom is gained in the moments that people would rather forget than really see the beauty in. This is going to be a time where we find the power in between things, in between the words that are said, in the moments of emotional depth and understanding, in the moments where we are quiet with ourselves and powerful within our hearts. It moves us then to our subconscious emotional self. And that is the Two of Cups. Love, unity, success coming together, embracing love and joy and brilliance, and knowing that there is more to life than meets the eye, and there is more here than we realized. When we embrace what we love, we embrace who we are. And this becomes a time where the healing helps us to embrace who we are and how we desire moving forward. This is also the unity of the twins, the sacred masculine, sacred feminine parts of ourselves, the creative and the, scientific parts of our mind. We're finding that we're coming into unity. We're coming into, I have your back, you have mine, kind of understanding of ourselves and the complexity and the dynamic, intentions of who we are. It moves us then to our subconscious inner self. And that's the 10 of Wands. We have to be very mindful of how much public arena self. We have to be very mindful of how much we carry, of taking the burdens from other people, saying, don't worry, I got this. Don't worry, I got this. This is a time where it's like, okay, carry what you need to carry, Gemini, but do not carry everything for everyone. And also a delegation of tasks and chores and things that need to be done. We need to sit there and say, okay, instead of me doing everything, I need to delegate. At home, at work, and even within our own time of what we need to get done. Making sure that we spend X amount of minutes, hours on certain things. And being able to say, I can't have it consume me. I can't be buried by it. So that all that I see is the dirt on my shoes. All that I know is mud under my feet. It's like, no, I need to see the sky. And by being able to see the sky, I need to release so much of the burdens that I carry, whether it be at work, whether they be physical burdens, whether they be psychological burdens. I need to release it. And I need to know that it doesn't always come back to having to be on my shoulders. Because so often we carry so much. And we carry so much and we carry so much until we snap. And then people go, oh, why? Why are you so upset? Like, you always do this. Now we need to step back and say, I don't always do this. Stand on your own 2 feet. It's important. All right, Gemini. That's also going to help us with our creativity. Being able to say to people, I delegate. You have to pull your weight too. It's important. It really is. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the very essence of ourselves that comes forward. The power that has been diligently worked for, diligently obtained, and the passion that is being fed within us. We will not be held back and we will not be silenced. This is a time for success. This is a time for change and power. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini.